We can now bring in Daniel Lifshitz, the grandson of Israeli hostages Yocheved and Oded Lifshitz. His grandmother was released by Hamas early in the conflict, but the remains of his grandfather were only returned during a ceasefire earlier this year. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. I just want to ask, your family has been through so much. Can you tell us about your grandmother? Is she back in the Near or kibbutz?
Good evening. Thank you for welcoming me. No, she haven't been back. Still, Niroz is not been reconstructed. Still a long time until the kibbutz members will be able to go there. This place have been suffered the worst massacre. It's the ground zero of October 7. Some of the kibbutz members would be back. Some of them, as you can imagine, don't want to come back after what they suffered there with the children. And I still don't know what will be my grandma decision. She was waiting for my grandfather for so long, and in the end got her peace fighter, human rights fighter, husband in a coffin after 503 days. So
Yeah.
we know on our skin what is the terror organization of Hamas, which is worse than ISIS.
Your reaction, Daniel, to the video which Hamas released showing those two Israeli hostages uh, in that condition, emaciated, clearly hungry, been deprived of food. Your reaction to that, and what would you like the government in Israel to do about it?
I went to my grandma yesterday in the morning, and she was so horrified. In the start of the 90s, she made an exhibition about the Holocaust, and she said she haven't seen photos like that since the exhibition she made in the start of the 90s. My reaction was to be so worried for those families, so worried for Eviatar, so worried for all the hostages that I still know that are held in Gaza. We feel and we see that there is an intentional starvation, and it's very good that we continue this war against the image of Hamas around the world, because the intentional starve the hostages. We know that behind the doors of Eviatar David and the guys probably with him there is a huge space where they hold humanitarian aid. And we saw that the hand of the Hamas terrorist give the can to Eviatar David. We saw a very healthy, even overweight hand. And, today in Gaza, we feel that the way you can divide the people of Gaza and the hostages from the Hamas ones is that you see by their weight.
So you would like the war to continue because just earlier we had hundreds of former Israeli security officials who are calling on the US President Donald Trump to exert pressure on Netanyahu to end the war. They're saying that this is no longer a just war.
So I think both things are very important. What I can tell you, is the proofs that we got in the last few weeks that Hamas withdrew from the negotiation table because of the starvation campaign. So we have to make sure that all the international media power is going over Hamas. We see Hamas is not only starving the hostages, Hamas for a long time starved the people of Gaza and kidnapped both the hostages and the people of Gaza. From the other side, of course, there has to be a pressure overcoming from wherever is necessary to make sure that there is a full-scale hostage deal that includes all the 50 hostages and the end of the war. That beside that, of course, there will be a continuation of flooding Gaza with humanitarian aid. But most important now is as well as much as fast as possible to make sure that the Red Cross or there are videos showing that Eviatar David is getting the food and all the other hostages, because they will not survive.
Daniel,
We heard from the doctors that they will not survive many more days.
Daniel, I want to jump in there because when you say the end of the war, you mean the withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza?
the end of the war, we all know that it has to be, four things has to happen. We have to, first of all, release all the hostages unconditionally. The second thing will be a permanent ceasefire. Humanitarian aid goes into Gaza, and Hamas has to demilitarize. All of those things, if those things happen, of course, it's the end of the world. Gaza, the IDF will withdraw completely from Gaza, I believe. And of course, there has to be a solution for who will go and take place in Gaza, because we all getting the proof. Hamas is the worst people on planet Earth. They are a terror organization worse than ISIS. Hamas is not ISIS. It's worse than ISIS.
Yeah.
It's as the Nazis. And we have to make sure someone that will not be, any kind of group or a government that will be preoccupied for terror or a haven for Hamas.
Daniel,
Those things has to be clear there.
Benjamin Netanyahu is going to direct the Israeli army on how to go ahead and bring the hostages home. This has been one of the stated goals in Israel's war. Defeat Hamas and bring the hostages home. Are you surprised that you're hearing this from Israel's Prime Minister? That should have been the top priority, one would have thought.
What do you mean? Please repeat the question.
Israel's Prime Minister saying he's going to direct the army this week on how to achieve the objectives of bringing the Israeli hostages who are left in Gaza home. Of course, pressure is mounting on Netanyahu to do more to secure the release of hostages. But up until now, this has been a stated war goal for Israel. Are you surprised that you're hearing this from the Prime Minister?
I don't know what are the true intentions there. I know that bringing back all the hostages is only by the negotiation on the table. And I know one thing. I know that now the ones that are not agreeing to negotiate is the terror organization of Hamas. They are terrorizing the world, terrorizing Gaza. So for the moment, there are some moments probably the necessary has to be full scale on the Israeli government. But now we have to make a full scale pressure over Hamas to come back to the negotiation table to make sure they close the deal. And that is something as well we've been hearing from Ambassador Witkoff, and we hear now from all the European leaders that they say Hamas has to disarm, leave Gaza, free the Palestinians. And I think that the demand is that Hamas will demilitarize, release all the hostages, and then there will not be any more problem of Gaza. Gaza can be, there will be a start for the reconstruction of Gaza or anything else. But for now, we don't have this time. I mean, we have to choose which side we choose to make sure Eviatal and Guy and Rome are coming back home together with all the other 47 hostages.
Daniel, would you like to see a Palestinian state down the line once this war comes to an end, once the hostages are home? Is that the ultimate goal, you think?
Look, I tell you, my grandparents were huge peace activists. They try, although my grandfather, he fought in 4 different wars because he believed Israel has the right to defend itself. We are, small country that is surrounded by enemies, and we have to do everything for that. And yes, he fought for the right of the Palestinians as well. Though my grandmother, she's not anymore certain about the future of the solution with the Palestinians, because she didn't see any Palestinian going out on October 8th and condemning Hamas and calling for the release of those people who all their life fought for the right of the Palestinians. And she also said that to Yahya Sinwar inside the tunnels, that how he killed peace. This guy literally killed peace, and now we have to work back to find a path for that. But it has to be with education and many more things. But for that, we will deal later. I think the statement of the Palestinian state also made by President Macron, which I asked him in a press conference, that you can show that press conference, and his answer, who will govern Gaza? And then he said that his idea for the Palestinian state was because he doesn't see anymore that a hostage release and a ceasefire can come together. But you have to understand, we see now Hamas saying they will not go to the table if there will not be a declaration of Palestinian state for all the countries. So these things you have to clear first. To go to the path for maybe a future Palestinian state, you have to release all the hostages, ease the pain, and have a permanent ceasefire. Fresh humanitarian aid goes into Gaza, and Hamas demilitarized. Hamas cannot be there. It's a terror organization who kidnapped Gaza, kidnapped peace, kidnapped the hostages. They starve intentionally the hostages, things we never saw in even the terror organization of ISIS, who was executing out people. We see that only on the time of the Nazis. So we have to make sure that all those things are coming before the future possibility of a Palestinian state, which in the end will be good for everyone.
Daniel Lifshitz, thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see it end soon.